What's up, you beautiful people out there? Hope y'all are doing amazingly great. So this is your Bong Baker, and today we're going to talk about these little beauties which they call macaroons. So yes guys, this video is divided into three major parts. The first part will be the basics, because without knowing the basics you cannot even think of trying out macaroons. The second part would be the do's and the don'ts, because if you do the don'ts and the don'ts you do, it would be impossible for you to get the perfect macaroons. And of course the third part, your favorite and even mine, the tutorial. So without wasting any more time guys, let's get started. So guys, welcome back to the first part of the video, the basics. Now, oneke bole je macaroons are a bit overrated. Of course it is. Hobe keno hobe na, because you need a skill to make it, and people who don't have that skill often say stuffs like that. So yes guys, macaroons are nothing but a cookie, normal cookie, dekho, which consists of three key ingredients. Numero uno, almond flour. Number two, egg whites. And of course number three, sugar. These ingredients are necessary, but there are two kinds of sugar that is used. Number one, castor sugar, and number two, icing sugar. Now, what is the difference between a castor sugar and an icing sugar? Jodi tumi jano ota ekhuni video ta pause koro, comment section e jao ar likhe dao ekhuni if you know it. So what is the difference between castor sugar and icing sugar? Nothing, but castor sugar is regular sugar but of much finer grains. That's it guys, normal sugar. And icing sugar is also powdered sugar, but it has an addition of a little bit of corn flour. Ever corn flour keno add kore? That is because sugar is hygroscopic in nature. Hygroscopic mane moisture ke attract kore. Tumi jodi sugar ke baire rekhe dao in open air, kichukhon pore it will get clustered. So to avoid this clustering, icing sugar ki kore, they add a bit of corn flour. But corn flour ki hoy, moisture ki tene nahe, so it does not let it get lumpy when it is put like in direct contact of air. So that's it. That is the basic difference. Tumi jodi ota jene thako, tumi jodi ota comment e likhe thako, you're a genius. Thumbs up for that. Next, moving on. Macarons er jonno almond flour is must. Keu jodi tomake bole je, can you make me some macarons made out of walnut flour, peanut flour, or even pistachio flour? Okay giye bolbe je, listen, first you go and get your statistics and basics right, because I am not making macarons with these ingredients. Macarons are always made with almond flour. That's it, period. Ami kichu shunte jai na. So coming to the next part, there's a big difference between a macaron and a macaroon. Now macaroon is a coconut cookie যেটাকে কিছু এরকম দেখতে হয়, তোমরা দেখতে পাচ্ছ সাইডে, আর macaron is this one. So don't get confused. So now you know the difference between a macaron and macaroon is not just an extra. Oh, কেউ যদি তোমাকে বলে যে আমাকে একটু macaroon দিতে, you will obviously ask him that what are you really aiming for, because when I opened up my bakery in Calcutta, there were people who were like, tumi bauli banate paro? I mean, what is a bauli? Bolche bauli paro na. And then I got to know bauli is nothing but croissant, and people here call it bauli. It's amazing guys. I'm getting habituated to it, and now I have like gotten a bit familiar to the vocabulary. That's it from my side. Keu jodi tomake jigesh kore what is the difference between macaroon and macaron, I hope you'll be able to tell them. Moving on to the next part. From where does the word macaron come? Now macaron comes from the French word called macaronage. A macaronage is a stage at which the batter is smooth, shiny, and it's light. আমি তোমাদের টিউটোরিয়ালে দেখিয়ে দেবো guys the stage at which this macaronage is attained. Macaronage থেকে macaron. That's it. And a very important part in the basic section I would like to cover is that you need to know the parts of macarons, because তুমি যদি parts of macarons না জানো, how would you know that your macaron is perfect or it's bullshit? So here it is guys. This one, etake amra boli the top of the macaron, which is supposed to be plain like this. And the important part is this guys. This one we call the foot of the macaroon. Now তোমার যদি macaroon-এ ভালো ফুট না আসে তাহলে তুমি মুদিখানার দোকানে গিয়ে ওটা বেচে দিতে পারো, calling it as batasha, and you won't even get a penny for it. Take my words for this, the foot is very important for macaroons. So that was all in the basic section, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let's get going to the next part. Welcome back, guys, to the next segment of the video, the do's and the don'ts. So তোমরা যদি এখনো ভিডিওটা দেখছো, I hope that y'all are inquisitive to know a bit more about macaroons, and y'all are probably liking it. So যদি তোমাদের ভালো লাগে, put a like on this video, and if you have not subscribed to my channel, blah blah blah, তোমরা জানোই কি করবো এখন, press the bell icon and click the subscribe button so that whenever I upload a video you get notified. চলো আমরা next segment এ যাই, which is the do's and the don'ts. The first we'll talk about the do's. Number 1, macaroons hate moisture. তুমি জল দেবে না একটু ম্যাকারোনসে। এবার কি হয়, তুমি বলবে যে ওকে আইল গেট আমন্ড ফ্লাওয়ার ফ্রম আউটসাইড, আমন্ড মিল ফ্রম আউটসাইড, আউটসোর্স করে। আই উড সাজেস্ট ইউ নট টু, কারণ দে চার্জ ইউ আ লট। মানে আমি যখন প্রথম এখানে ক্যালকাটায় খুঁজতে গেছিলাম কলকাতায়, তো আই ওয়েন্ট টু শপ, বেকারি শপস উইচ ডিলস ইন বেকিং ইনগ্রিডিয়েন্টস। তো ওরা আমাকে আমন্ড ফ্লাওয়ার দিয়েছিল, আমন্ড মিল দিয়েছিল, অ্যান্ড আই টুক ইট ফর অ্যারাউন্ড $150 to $180 per 100 grams. Can you imagine? Like, inflation is here and the price of almond meal is here. So I figured out why not make it from scratch. তো আমি তোমাদের এই ভিডিওতে দেখাবো how to make macaroons from scratch. তোমরা 80 টাকা per 100 গ্রামের almond কিনবে, তারপরে macaroons বানাবে, and it has a drying process. That's why I'm suggesting that macaroons hate moisture. So guys, let's move on to the next point, that is very important, that you have to do tapping of macaroons after piping it. Now, tapping of macaroons is a very satisfying job. You will enjoy it if you have a lot of stress. কি করতে হবে, কিছু না, পাইপ করে দিলে তারপরে টেবিলের উপরে দাম 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 করে মারতে থাকো যতক্ষণ না ওটা ফ্ল্যাট হয়ে যায়। So easy, so satisfying as well. ওতে কি হয়, the air bubbles that are there in the macaroons that you have incorporated while making the meringue ওখানে থেকে যায়। তাই জন্য ট্যাপ করাতে কি হয়, সব air bubbles গুলো বেরিয়ে যায়, and you get perfect macaron যার মধ্যে কোনো air থাকবে না। The next part, guys, is of course after you have piped it and tapped it, you have to let it rest for at least 30 minutes. ভুলে যাও যে তুমি macaron বানাচ্ছিলে। You have to do nothing and wait until a film is formed on top of the macaron, যেটাকে ছুলে you'll understand that the batter is not sticking to your hand. Now this is very important, কারণ যখন তুমি ওটাকে বেক করবে, this will help in uniform rise of the macaron, and you will get an amazing food. Trust me, guys, trust me, you will get an amazing food, and you will be called as a pro in making macarons. We will go into the details in the tutorial part. Let's get going. তো তোমরা তো জেনে গেলে কি করতে হবে। Now let's get on to কি করতে হবে না। And for this, the first part is, do not, কখনোই, never ever in your life bake macarons on butter paper. কেন? I will come to it, but first let me tell you on what you should bake. You should always bake macarons on 2 of these things, guys. Number 1, parchment paper or silpat. Silpat কিছুটা এরকম দেখতে, which if you want to buy from Amazon, you can get it at a very cheap price, কারণ আমি ওটা চিপের ইউজ করি। So the link is in the description, guys. তোমরা যদি চাও, you can look for it and you will get it at the cheapest price and a good quality silpat. And coming on to the next part, which is the parchment paper. What is the difference between a parchment paper and a butter paper? Well, there is a difference of hell and heaven. Butter paper e by I mean অনেক pores থাকে, which holds the macarons too tightly. তো ফলে কি হয়, যখন macaronটা উঠতে চায়, butter paper ওকে টেনে রাখে, just like আমাকে এখন টেনে রাখছে to get over excited. তার ফলে কি হয়, the flat top you are seeing here is not there anymore, কারণ moisture or water vapor is trying to escape, but the butter paper is holding it too tightly. তো ফলে কি হয়, there is a fault where the macaroons turns into a triangle আর মাঝখান থেকে ফেটে যায়. That is something you do not want, so I would suggest you to bake macaroons on parchment paper. You want to see what is a parchment paper? Well, just a minute. Hey, parchment paper ta de to okan theke. This is the parchment paper, guys, if you can see. Now I would not suggest you to like a company parchment paper now, not necessary. You get any kind of parchment paper, that is fine, and this is of course much less porous and would help you get an even macaron. Now you know it, guys. Let's move on to the next don't that you do not need to do. So the next thing you do not want is any kind of fat while making macarons. Ki hoy, while making meringue, you need good aeration. Or by fat, I do not only mean agada edible vegetable oil. Nah, even egg yolks contain fat. So while separating the eggs, make sure there is not a single drop of egg yolk in your egg whites. Na hole tomar meringue ta faulty hobe and you will not get the perfect result. So while making the meringue, be very careful that you separate the egg yolks and the egg whites very carefully. That's it. Next one. The third and the final one which you should not do is baking the macarons on an uneven surface. What do I mean by baking it on an uneven surface? Tomra ki piche rastar opore pipe kore macaron ta bake korbe? Nah, of course not. You have to bake it on a flat, even surface. Like the tray you're baking the macarons on should be absolutely flat. Amar kache ekta oven chilo which had a tray like this. It would go straight like this and then it would have ridges and again it was straight. Now eta ki hoy, the heat distribution is not even anymore. What happens is যেখানটা রিজ আছে ওখানটা হিটটা অনেক বেশি থাকে and যেখানটা তোমার রিজ নেই, যেখানটা ফ্ল্যাট আছে সেখানটা obviously হিটটা কম আসবে because the macaron is like this, tilted. So কি হয়, the part where it's getting heat ওটা তো ভালোভাবে হয়ে যাবে and the other part on a flat surface would get absolutely hollow. So I would suggest you to bake the macarons on a flat and even surface. That is all, guys. You now know the do's and the don'ts and only a step far away from getting a pro in making macarons. Stay tuned, guys. Coming up with the next segment. Jara ekhono amar video ta dekhche, thanks a lot, guys, for staying in. For you guys, only you guys, tomader jonno shudhu specially, I have a myth buster. In recipes and in books even, I have read that people tell you to fold the macaron very very carefully and only for 5 to 6 times or it would get overmixed. Bullshit. Bull effing shit. Jodi ora 5 to 6 times bole ar tumi jodi 5 to 6 times koro, it's very obvious that you might not get the same results because their temperature, their motion of handling might be different than yours. So ora kibhabe bolche erokom je only 5 to 6 times korbe ar tomra bhoy koro na. This is a mistake that you make. You completely blindfoldedly trust the recipe. You should not, guys. You should explore. Ar jodi baje hoy hobe, let's explore for a better thing. I will show you the perfect way to fold and the stage where you understand it's perfectly fine and has attained the macaronage jeta ami bolechilam in the basics. Hope you remember. Great. Moving on to the next segment, the tutorial. Hope you guys are enjoying because I am enjoying a lot. See you guys on the tutorial side.
So welcome back to the final segment, the tutorial. For this, the first step is blanching the almonds to get rid of its skin. So boil 100 grams of almonds and then plunge it in cold water so that it's easier to take its skins out. Taking the skin out is very easy, guys. Just push it from the bottom and the almond will pop out open, leaving the skin behind. The next step will be tapping dry the almonds with a paper towel before putting it in the oven for further drying. Dry the almonds at a 150 degrees Celsius oven until it gets completely dried. Crack the eggs open and separate the egg yolks and the egg whites. For this recipe we need a total of 80 grams of egg whites. Separate it very carefully. As I told you before, there should not be a single drop of egg yolk. The next step is grinding the almonds to a fine powder. Now here you see it's a bit coarse because I will be grinding it again with 100 grams of icing sugar. Now you see this texture is perfect for macarons. The next step is adding 30 grams of egg whites from the 80 grams that you have separated and mix it thoroughly so that there are no lumps and you get a thick paste, somewhat like this. Next we'll make the sugar syrup for the Italian meringue. For this you need 150 grams of castor sugar and 40 grams of water. Cook the sugar till it reaches a thread stage, which is at 116 degrees Celsius. Take the sugar off the heat and next we'll prepare the meringue. For that you need 50 grams of egg whites and you need to whip it before pouring the sugar syrup. When lightly frothy, start adding the sugar syrup from the sides of the mixing bowl in one single stream, guys. Make sure do not put all the sugar syrup at once. That will curdle the egg whites and you won't get a perfect meringue. Stop the process when the meringue reaches this consistency and then we'll move on to the folding of the meringue into the almond paste. First take around 1/3 of the meringue and mix it thoroughly so that it gets a bit lightened up. After that, put the rest of the meringue in and fold it, pressing it to the sides of the bowl so that the almond butter is extracted and you reach the macaronage consistency. At this stage you need to add the essence and the color if you wish for it. I am adding a red color because I will be doing pink macaroons. Keep on folding, guys, till the batter becomes shiny and smooth. As you can see, the batter is now much shinier than before. Keep on pressing it to the sides of the bowl until it reaches this consistency. Now you see how the batter is flowing off the spoon and breaking at the end. Now there's another way of seeing the consistency of macaronage, that is drawing a figure 8 in one continuous motion. If you can do that, then my friend, you have reached the macaronage. The next step is very simple. Pour the batter in a piping bag and then pipe it out on a parchment paper, or you can even use silpat as I told you all before. Now for the first few times it would be tough for you to get the circles right, but practice, guys, practice makes perfect, and this will definitely help you in making perfect sized circles. The next step was tapping of the macaroons, so tap it real hard, guys, until it becomes flat. Now you leave the macaroons to dry up for at least 30 minutes before baking it. Now these are a different variety of macaroons, heart shape. You can try this as well. Let them dry, guys, and as you can see, after it has dried up, there's a film created on top of the macaroons. So when you touch it, the batter does not stick to your hand. Bake it at 150 degrees Celsius for approx 20 to 25 minutes. When you see the food coming, take it out, guys, and cool it. Once it has completely cooled down, guys, you will see it will come right off the parchment paper and you will get an amazing food, guys, with a shiny top and a straight and plain bottom. This is the perfect macaroon.
If যদি তোমার at any point or at any stage of making macaroons মনে হয় that you have effed up, then that is the point where you leave the macaron and start afresh. Yes, guys, you need to start over again. যা হয়ে গেছে ওটাকে ফেলে দাও, because that is of no use, because you have done a blunder and you have definitely learned something new from it. But never go on with a recipe where you think that you have or you might be wrong. Because this is not like mayonnaise or hollandaise যেখানে তুমি একটু গরম জল বা একটু glug of oil ঢেলে দিলে the curdling would get rectified. এটা হবে না. This is macaroon, guys. You need to develop the skill of making it, so start again from scratch. So this was the last and the final segment of the video. Hope you have enjoyed and gained some knowledge out of it. If not, you can definitely curse me in the comment section. It will be open to you all. But if you liked it and gained some amount of knowledge from it, do like the video, guys, and subscribe to my channel. But do not forget to press the bell icon, because whenever I would upload a video, you will get notified. So until then, guys, Kolkata, fall in love with baking with the Bong Baker. Cheers, guys. Have a great day ahead. See you again soon.